everyone? How's everyone? Bro,
What have you done, Daddy? What have you done?
chill, chill,
What the fuck, bro?
bro. I know I sound dead as fuck, right? Um, yeah, it's just I
Man,
don't
you're
know.
enjoying life too much, eh?
Uh,
Too many
no,
cenas, eh?
too, no. I think it's just
No, actually, not enough.
not enough. Yeah, I can never get enough. But I'm just really, I don't know. I think it's just maybe exhaustion or something, maybe like that. Because I just feel
What
really
is that,
like,
flu or just
I
bones,
mean,
like bone pain?
bones feel like I don't know, a bit like weak. I don't know,
Yeah.
throat was fucked, nose was fucked. I don't know, it's headaches. Couldn't sleep properly, so just yeah, a bit ill. But hopefully be better by tomorrow. Hopefully, because I don't be ill like usually ever. So for me, it's like a weird feeling to even get ill. Like so, I just look to carry on working. Um,
Get a nice warm English tea, brother.
no, I don't even drink tea, coffees, nothing. So if yeah, they're horrible to me.
Oh, yeah, yeah, they
Yeah,
don't taste much.
it's just shit. But yeah, no, it's all right.
Well,
Still
let's do this.
carry on pushing, right? Carry on pushing. So,
Yeah, man.
um, let me share my screen. Let's talk about a lot of things today. Um, US 30. Currently, we might get this EM1 entry. So let me just delete a couple of things. Okay, so if we jump on a 4 hour and sort this out, yes. Okay, so what do we have on the 4 hour on the high time frame? Um, this is what I had as my forecast, just saying like in terms of the 4 hour bullish order flow range from this low to this high, expectation order flow is to make a new high like it has been doing for a while now, just making perfect bullish order flow ranges all the way from like down here. Um, bullish order flow ranges all the way perfectly respected to continue higher. It might want to continue to come higher. Like we have all this like space, all this like imbalance here. We could fill possibly to come up into this supply zone. This supply zone, I believe I had on the 6 hour time frame, or 7 hours. I don't remember. Let's see. Yeah, 7 hour, 8 hour, 7 hour. So I had this supply zone on the 7 hour time frame, which is like the last buy to sell that flipped and broke this range low here, this demand. So that 7 hour supply zone is like our next EM1 sell area that we could look for a sell. But if we jump onto here right now, we are in this 7 hour demand zone right here. This last extreme bearish candle, right? This bearish engulfed candle. So if we go onto the 5 minute time frame to look for a EM1 buy, like I said here, wait for this high time frame zone for EM1 buy. So an EM1 buy would look like this 5 minute chop down and then 5 minute chop bullish, right, to get into a trade. So if this goes bullish, comes back into a demand zone on a 1 minute to a 5 minute time frame, um, in a discount of this range, then we can look for a buy for EM1. Yeah. Um, how come not just the 4 hour? Just because like on this 4 hour, we have like yeah this push down, push up, but then obviously because we can see on the 4 hour, this whole price action. Like if I jump onto a high time frame and I see a cleaner looking price action, it's the same. That's the same really POI, but it's just the cleaner high time frame POI. I'm just gonna use this instead. Um, so yeah, like I wouldn't do it from this high because it's a bullish candle. But yeah, from this bearish candle, I'll mark up this up until like the 8 hour time frame, which is the same as a 7 hour. So I'll find like the clean POI on a high time frame, and I just use that. 6 hour is exactly the same as well. So it's like this last bearish candle. So just check like all your time frames when you're marking up your POIs, just so that you don't miss anything, and just so that you have like the entire area POI marked up instead of just like something like this or something that might be something small like this. But I'd rather use something on a high time frame, which shows me the entire sell to buy price action, the entire stack sell orders before the buy orders. So if price wants to return back to this, at least I'll have it all marked up so that I'll have my alerts on here and just wait for price to come in, jump onto the 5 minute, and then obviously we can look for that EM1 buy here. So just simply waiting for this. So you should have your alerts on this and wait for it to tap in to break out basically. Bloody hell, can't even talk. But let's talk about entry models, yeah. Like in terms of like some refinements and stuff. So what I'll do is like I want to just talk about like all three entry models. So I think that would be pretty cool. Um, so what I'll do is let's talk about like over here somewhere. Right. So let's just talk about like entry model one, just to clarify it, go over it, just so it's ingrained into your brains. The different rules and stuff, criterias, and refinements and stuff like that for all entry models. So for entry model one, what we're looking for, right, is that 4 hour POI. Let's say it's a demand zone, right? So let's say it's a 4 hour demand zone, and price comes into the 4 hour demand zone. All we're simply waiting for is a 5 minute to turn from bearish to bullish, yeah? So once it goes from bearish to bullish, what you got to just do is find your premium and discount area, but have the 70%, like price point also marked up because of this 70% rule that I have. So basically, let me actually make it like much bigger just so that it's clear. 4 hour demand zone, 5 minute shock happens, mark up your premium discount and the 70% as well. So let's just imagine this is your 5 minute shock, and what you simply have to do, like mark up from a 1 minute to a 5 minute POI. Demand zones, let's say it's an extreme, let's say it's an SD flip POI, right? In the discount of the range, right? So I have this and I have this. Okay, so simple entry model one would be to price to come into this, price to come into this 1 minute POI or this one, and for us to just look for a 15-second chalk, right? So we get a 15-second chalk, make sure it doesn't break that demand. 15-second chalk, just an entry like this, stop loss below this low, and just take it normally, all right? So this is just like a normal entry, same scenario here and same scenario here, all right? Do you start your POI search from 4 minute down or 1 minute up? I'll start from 1 minute and then I'll work my way to the 5 minute. Okay. So 15-second chocks, right, in this POI and this POI. So now that's a normal way, very simple way, no issues. Who's calling me? United Arab Emirates. Chill out. So yeah, that's a normal way of entering, right? The second way is when we have this happen. So let's say price comes down, comes into the discount, right? So now we're talking about the 70% rule over here. Okay. So when price comes into the discount of the range, let's say it taps your POI, it doesn't even have to tap the POI. But let's say now it pushes off, right, into the 70% or higher, but it doesn't break this high. That's a key thing. It's like it tries to push the high, it tries to push and break the high, but it doesn't. It fails to do so. And the fact that it's failing to do so and it comes back down should indicate, kind of give you a bit of like less confidence that these buys may play out, right? Even in statistics as well shows like when price does this, a lot of the time or most of the time they actually fail. Okay, so this could happen, right? Due to the fact that this price action, this price is failing, like the demand is failing to actually overcome supply. So kind of indicating that supply may be too strong, right, for the demand to push price higher. And then this could happen where supply overcomes the demand completely, right? And it's happened a lot of times, and it's so fractal because this scenario happens on literally every time frame. Like 4 hours happening, 15 minute, I've seen it a lot, the 5 minute a lot. It happens on the 15 seconds, 5 seconds probably even, right? Happens on like every time, so fractal. So when this happens, right, the 70% rule gets activated, where this 50% push down into 50, push away into the 70, right? and then fails to actually do anything, go high and take out this high, so it comes back in. All right. When it comes back in, or when the 70% rule is activated, you delete these 1 minute POIs, okay? And then all we have to do now is simply wait for a 1 minute chop to happen instead in the discount again, right? In the discount right here, 50%. So the 1 minute chop needs to happen now because of the fact, like I said, due to price failing to actually continue its bullish order flow, which should be this, due to the fact it's failing to do so, means that I'll have less confidence now to actually take a buy using seconds. Okay. I now need a higher time frame chop for me to actually get involved, to actually gain a bit more confidence. And that's the whole thing about this. It's like trading is all about confidence in actually executing a trade. If you don't have confidence in taking that trade, then you need to wait for something that will provide you a bit more confidence, which means like a high time frame chop or something. Okay. So more of a high time frame price action or POI, whatever. Um, so wait now for a 1 minute chop instead of a 15 seconds. So delete the POIs and wait for 1 minute chop. And then we can just simply play a 1 minute chop and a 15-second scenario where, let's say, this 1 minute and the 15 second is the same. We can just take the trade, right? Or even execute on the chop itself. So if the 15 second from here to here is the same as a 1M chop, you can just enter on there and stop loss below this low. If your stop loss is below 1.5 pips, but during London and well, most of the time, I'd rather have my stop loss like even less than 1.3. So you know what I mean? Like I try to have it as small as possible, from like 1 to 1.5. But yeah, you can either execute here or you can execute when it mitigates, if it mitigates, right? So this is entry model one. Before I move on, anyone got any questions? Just unmute yourselves.
Hey Cash.
Yes, how's it going?
It's going good, bro.
Good.
So I just wanted to know if the 1 minute shock needs to, for the 70% rule, does it need to be in the premium discount as well?
Are you talking about this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when it does a 1 minute chop, yeah, it needs to come back into the discount and then give you the 1 minute chop. But due to the fact that it's given a 1M chop, the entry can be a little bit above the EQ, like for, let's say this is EQ, and let's say here to here is like 1 pip, right? So if your entry is like a pip away from the EQ, that's fine to enter as well. I've seen them work out enough times that I can accept that due to the fact that it's given a high time frame chop. If it didn't give this 1 minute chalk, if it just gave a 15-second chalk, I would never execute here. It would always have to be at this EQ or below.
Got it, bro.
And another thing as well, just came to mind is like if on the way up to this 70%, it's done a 1 minute chalk on the way. Like let's say this is 1 minute low, this is your 1 minute high. Let's say this is your 1 minute chalk. It's already done it on the way up. We don't have to then wait for it to do another chalk down here. If it comes back into like a
Oh,
1 MPOR here, right? And let's say it gives a 15-second entry or whatever, or if the 15-second and the 1M is the same, and we can just get in, then yeah, we'll get in like this. Okay.
yeah. So the entry still needs to be close to the equilibrium.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, got it, bro. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Um, what's it say? After the 70%, delete the 1 minute POIs. Wait for it to come down to discount and wait for 1M choke in 15-second alignment and execute. Yeah, that's right. So this is EM1. Yeah. So let's talk about EM2. So now entry model 2, right, is all about being pro trend with a 4 hour time frame and continuing to follow the 15-minute flow. So let's say 4 hour is bullish like this, right? This is your big 4 hour range. And let's say on the 15-minute time frame, it's continuing to continue these higher highs and higher lows, right? It can continue from here, or it can, pull back into the 4 hour, something like this, and then chuck like this on the 15-minute, and then continue on the 15M like this. Both of them scenarios are both pro trend 4 hour order flow, right? So when they are pro trend 4 hour order flow, due to having a higher strike rate, being pro trend, this is why we follow pro trend. When you are counter trend, the 4 hour order flow, that it leads to more losses, right? And this is just if it has a low strike rate, then why have it in the plan, right? So better to just delete, things that provide like a lower strike rate, and just focus on the high probable scenarios only, right? Because when things are high probable, means that it has more chance of it winning, even though the opportunities might come, you might get less opportunities in terms of like the trades available in like every single day. It might be less because you're not taking every single like sell from here, buy from here, sell from here, buy, sell, buy, sell. You're not taking like 10 trades up and down in a day. But the trades that you may take, they might give you a better probability of like it winning, right? Or at least break even or something, right? So this is the key thing about trading, is like trading less, but trading the high probable scenarios only, risking bigger money on it instead of risking like 0.25 or 0.5. Risking bigger money where you can confidently risk 1% on any account size, regardless if it's like $1,000 or $1 million or 10 million, like, gaining the confidence that, okay, which trade can I risk big money on confidently, right? So being pro trend and stuff like that, like having these entry models with the high probable scenarios and good strike rates and 10 hour trades, really, really help you to actually gain the confidence. Yeah. So sticking to pro trend for our order flow for these EM2 buys means that we can continue to look for buys like this all the way up, continue until we tap into a 4 hour supply zone, right? If we tap into this 4 hour supply zone like this, we should never ever now continue to buy. Yeah. Inside of this 4 hour supply zone, never ever buy again. Only buy when you come outside and it's done this again, right? Then we can look for buys. Okay. As soon as it's done this mitigation of the 4 hour supply zone, never ever look for any more buys inside. Same like a high time frame demand zone. When price comes in, you should never ever look for any more sells in here, right? It's just obviously pretty obvious. Mentioned it before as well. It's like it might be a simple rule, but it's just very, very logical that you don't want to be selling in a buyer's area. If this is where the demand really stepped into the market to actually push price higher and overcome supply, why would you want to be risking sells if a bullish reaction can happen at any time, either from just tapping the open of it or inside or whatever? It could happen anytime. So due to the fact that it has a low probability of like holding in terms of sells in this area, why would you even risk it? You know what I mean? Just be patient and wait for the buys, or wait for it to break the demand, or break the supply, right? And then we can look for continuations. Okay, so continue to look for these buys up until 4 hour supply zone, or if we get the 50-minute chop bearish, obviously, then you're not looking for buys anymore from like here on the left, yeah, because we should be following, making sure our order flow ranges is actually aligned always with your entry, right? Always aligned, right? Not never like misaligned. So that's only in a special occasion when it's entry model 3, which I'll talk about after this. But when you are looking for these pro trend buys, always make sure like these EM2 buys are like bullish ranges, and they don't switch from bullish to now bearish and then come back into like some random supply zone or demand zone, and then you're looking for a buy like this. You should never be doing stuff like that, right? So the way to get into these the buys is very, very simple. I keep everything very simple, systematic. It's like, let's say you have this big 50-minute bullish order flow range, which is pro trend, the 4 hour range. Simply have your premium discount tool from here to here, and the same thing with the 70% scenario, which is like right here. So have the 70% again. So it's like this is like a bigger version of like EM1 70% rule, right? It's just a bit of a bigger version. So again, it's like fractal. So things happen on high time frames as well as low time frames, right? So if this is your 50-minute bullish range and this is your 4 hour range, for us to get into like a buy from here would be to make sure we are executing in the discount again of here, or at least close enough to the EQ. Let's say your 15-minute to 25-minute POI is this demand zone, right? Like an extreme or SD flip zone, something like this, right? And if we can get a demand zone here, price comes straight in, and we can get a clean like 1M chuck tapping and a 15-second chuck for an entry in a 1 minute POI to a 5-minute POI, we can just simply take this trade like this, right? It was simply like a trade that happened yesterday, which unfortunately happened at New York Stock Exchange Open. But like that trade was textbook trade. It was just the wrong time, right? So this is yeah, it's good to just look at it in terms of the concept, but just gotta remember like don't be trading at like news event timings and like openings and stuff, bell, because like if it starts wicking you out like this crazy stuff, like going the opposite direction, you're gonna get slipped hard and get slapped around. Like you're gonna lose your accounts and it's not worth it. So I'd rather be in the game for longer than like lose my accounts due to me like trying to risk it all. Like just like gambling in it. Like if I have a million dollar account, I would not be taking that trade. So why would I take it on like a smaller account? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that logic, right? So let's just say, imagine, right, this is your 1M chop and 15-second chuck in a 1M POI. We can just simply take a trade. Or if like the 1M chuck happens and the 15-second is also aligned bullish and it comes back in like this, we can just take it as, again, just the same. Okay. The only difference now is like, again, the 70% rule is like, let's say price does this, 50% mitigation, pushes away to the 70%. Again, now you delete these POIs. Yeah. Now you don't have a POI, right? Now you need price to create a new POI for you. So same like on EM1, where you need to wait for a 1M chop now. For the difference between this, because it's a bit of a high time frame range, is that instead of that 1 minute chop now, you need to now wait for a 5 minute chop to happen now. Okay, on the 5 minute time frame, waiting for this to happen is so much more high probable instead of like just trying to again enter on like 1 minute chocks down here, right? Wait for this 5 minute chop to happen and then give you like 1 minute POIs for 15-second entries. Okay. It doesn't have to be in the discount of like this 5 minute range, right? It just needs to be in discount of this 15-minute range. So like even here, that could be an entry, even though it's a premium of this 5 minute range, but it's still in discount of this 15-minute range. Same like on the EM1, right? Where you get a 5 minute choke and 50-70% mitigation like this. Let's say you get a 1M choke, right? Your entry doesn't have to be in a discount of this range, right? It has to be in a discount of that 5 minute range. Make sense? So same as this, it has to be the discount of the 50-minute range and not of this 5 minute range. It's the same as this. Okay. And then simply like how EM1 is. So this kind of becomes like a mini EM1 then, where you get like a 5 minute chop, 1 MPOIs, 15-second entries, and take it. Okay. Again, this is due to the fact like when this happens, it fails to actually take out the high. Again, means that the low could be potentially weak and it ends up taking out the lows. Okay. So anyone got any questions on EM2? Just to confirm, we don't use 70% again once we have the 5 minute chop. No, you don't use it again. You only use it ever one time. Only has to ever happen this one time here. This could even happen with like one candlestick, like up and down, right? But still, you gotta wait for that 5 minute. Okay, so yeah, you can watch it. You can watch this on any time frame, like a 1 minute time frame. You can watch it. Same like on a 5 minute chop. You're watching it like on the 1 minute time frame. Price comes in, pushes off to 70%, comes back down. 1 minute chop entry. Same like this. 5 minute chop entry. Right. Man, they teach very simply, understandably as fuck. We don't need any inducement, no. EM2 after 70% delete POIs. Wait for it to come to discount. 5 minute chuck, 1 minute POIs, 15-second chuck, execute correct. Yeah. Why are you repeating what I'm saying and sending me on there? Why are you just repeating what I'm saying and sending me other text? Bro, I'm dead as fuck. But yeah, any questions? Is it clear? Yeah. Just everyone, let me know. Just type in chat. Just to let me know. Put clear or unclear. Clear, bro. No counter trend. EM2 trade is correct. Yeah, no counter trend. Clear. Kissy face. Clear she. All right, cool. So that's EM2. So let's talk about EM3. Lovely. All right. EM3, okay. So EM3 is all about catching the trade from the first ever reversal of a high time frame shock. So for example, let's say your 4 hour is bullish like this, right? So what we're trying to catch is this pullback phase or the continuation phase, right? So like there's basically three phases in like the market in terms of your ranges. You'll have this impulse phase, you'll have this correction phase, like a complex pullback, and you'll have another like an impulse or call it continuation phase, just to have it segregated, to separate the phases, like an impulse to break out of the range, the mitigation, like this correction, this pullback phase, right? And then another continuation phase again, which is simply again this impulse phase again, right? So it's kind of just like ongoing flow, impulse correction, impulse or impulse pullback continuation. Okay, so it's same shit, right? So what we're trying to catch is simply this trade from here, sell it down, and then this trade from here to buy back up, right? And this is where EM3 comes into play. Where EM3 is simply this: is like, let's say we want to catch this counter trend for our sell. Yeah, this counter trend because 4 hours bullish, right? So expectation order flow to continue to make a higher high. But for us to look for sells, it's going to be a little bit risky, yeah, because obviously you're going against this high time frame momentum. If high time frame is so bullish, we're trying to sell it. It's a bit of a you know problem because it's like you're trying to go against the flow, and trying to be always with the flow is so much better. And this is why trading with the order flow and trading um, with literally the flow of buy orders and sell orders is how we can be right more often in terms of the direction. Being right in terms of direction is obviously going to be important. It's going to be more. It's very very important because then we can capitalize on entries and actually be right on the direction as well. If it presents us with the entries, we take it. If it gives us the opportunity, we take it. If it doesn't, then we just sit on our hands and wait for tomorrow or the next session, right? And this is just how trading is. It's like, this is I was talking to a lot of people about this before. I was just saying, like, if you were managing big account, right? Let's just imagine you go for like a private investor, right? Who's like willing to give you $10 million, right, to trade. So you know that in your head, like 10% of that is $1 million. So then if you think about it really hard, you're thinking $1 million, like how long does it take me to actually make that in like a normal job? Like maybe never, right? Let's just say, like, would you not rather wait than like a whole month, even like for $1 million? Like, would you not? Who wouldn't? You know what I mean? If you know like 10% comes in a month easily, like from a single trade, if I just wait patiently for like the clean setups, then what's your rush then? Right? If you don't build that discipline and that mindset now, then you'll never build in the future. Just because you have more money doesn't. If you ever get more money or more capital, more prop firms, more funding, it won't make you a better trader because your psychology will still be the same, isn't it? People think like having more money makes them better, but not really. It actually just kind of shows like who you really are in a way. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. So basically, in terms of like this 50-minute chuck will happen. Let's try it again. So let's say this happens, 4 hour is bullish, right? Let's say you get a 50-minute bullish range and it chucks bearish like this. Yeah. So we're not entering from this first chop, right? What we're doing is we got to make sure first of all that it's coming from a 4 hour or high time frame supply zone. Yeah, this is very important. Little like refinement that we looked at just to improve the strike rate is like for price to just come from nothing on the left and then give you this 50-minute chuck and stuff. Like, it doesn't tend to work out as often and gives you more losses. But if it comes from 4 hour zones, it saves you them losses and actually doesn't uh doesn't make you miss any winners. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a win-win situation, and it makes more logical sense too. Because why do you think EM1 works so well as well? As because it's coming from a high time frame point of interest. A high time frame is king. Obviously, it's like where the majority of like the stack buy orders or sell orders were injected into the markets, right? So why shouldn't we also be selling or buying from these areas? Like, this is logical sense. So we should be doing the same as what the big banks are doing or BFIs are doing, whoever's putting money into the market. We should kind of follow the flow, the footprints of them, right? And not do some crazy fancy shit. So let's say this is coming from a 4 hour zone and this is your 50-minute chuck. So we're not selling like this, but what we're doing is we're gonna wait for it to give another range, like on a 50-minute like this, right? And then break this one bullish to come back into this first 50-minute chuck. So first 50-minute chuck means that you see this 50-minute chuck here, this line anything above this line is available for you to look for sell from like a supply zone, right? Any supply zone that's fully like unmitigated from a 15-minute to a 25-minute POI, you can look here for a POI for an entry model like entry model 2, right? But it's just simply the fact like this model works so well in terms of like catching this sell, catching the buy. It works very well. A lot of reasons is because coming from a high time frame zone, as well as taking this high, as you can call like liquidity possibly, but it's like a high time frame range, right? So it's more of like it's a 50-minute range instead of just like a equal highs or some sort of like trend line or like anything like that. It's just more of a high time frame chalk, more of a high time frame sweep, you can call it, but I don't need to use any words or liquidity concepts or anything just to know that this works. So what's the purpose, right? Just knowing that this model, this like you can call it a schematic, you can call it a drawing or like a pattern, right? This works a lot more often than you just randomly taking like 50-minute counter trend sells like this, right? So yeah, this model really is really good. Comes into this 50-minute to 25-minute POI, and then you just got to make sure you're looking for like an entry model 2 scenario, which is a 1M chalk, 1M POI, 15-second chalk, and take the sell, unless if the 1M chalk and the 15-second is aligned. So we can just take it like this, yeah. And the same scenario is when you're pro trend, yeah. So this is counter trend sell, and when you're pro trend, the only difference when you're pro trend is that you don't need it to come from a 4-hour zone, right? It can come from anywhere, right? It's only when you're counter trend is when it becomes a bit more low probable when you're not coming from a high time frame POI, and because you also counter trend the flow, the high time frame flow, you're counter trending it. Whereas when you're pro trend, and if the intended direction was to already make a new higher high like this, then we don't need the extra confluence. This 4-hour POR here is an extra confluence that we need when you're counter trend. But when you're pro trend, you don't need an extra confluence. Yeah. So for you to look for an entry like this, it would just have to be a 50-minute chalk, another break, come back into that first chalk for that first demand zone like this, and take an entry on the 1M and a 15 seconds aligned for the entry model, right? So even this is the only ever time though where the 50-minute is misaligned. Yeah, this entry model 3 is the only time when 50-minute is misaligned for your entry. So again, here you see how it's misaligned because it comes back bearish, right? But EM2s, you always want them to be bullish like this for buys. Okay. So basically, this is the same as this without the 4-hour POI. Okay. So let me just see the questions. How soon or before or after news will you not take a sell? About 10 minutes. EM1, chalk 5-minute for 1M. Red news in 25 minutes. Yeah. How far out the POI will you still enter or only in the POI? As long as it's still in the discount of like, the bearish range that's coming towards you, coming down into the POI. As long as it's in a discount of this, then I can look up for buy. As long as it's in the premium of this bullish range, I can look for sell. That's it. Is that the same with New York Stock Exchange Open? Yeah, it's the same.
Cash, I got a question for you.
Oh yeah, go on, bro.
For the counter trend EM3 in the 4-hour, you're looking for EM1s as well.
Yeah,
if
as well.
EM1 and then the EM3 is setting up. If you're in that EM1 trade, are you still taking the EM3 trade, or do you wait until you're like?
I don't think that's possible, though, innit? Because if you're in this EM1 cell, right, which comes first, most likely here, right? You're in this EM1 cell, so I mean, if that doesn't hit 10 hours before this EM3, then there's nothing you can do. But you just have to be in it, right? I can't take 2 trades because if I'm risking 1% on a prop firm, I can't take another trade.
Okay.
And also, if you've got to remember something as well, like once this 15-minute chuck happens over here, this 4-hour zone now gets refined above that 50-minute range like this. So for you to not ever look for EM1 sell, it'll have to come to this.
Gotcha. And even on the 15-minute chalk for the EM3, we would still be taking the EM1s.
Oh
Correct?
yeah, so let's say imagine that this 50-minute chalk here was also the same as like a 5-minute chalk, or like they both are both bearish. Like let's say a 5-minute chalk happens like here, and this is your 5-minute, this is your 15-minute, right? But they both are the first one. Like it's the 5-minute chalk is the first one, so we care about the 5-minute chalk first, right? Until
Yeah.
that fails, then yeah, we look for something else. But your main priority there is EM1 first. Okay.
Thanks.
So we're looking for sell like from there as an EM1. So okay. Yeah.
Cash, I got one quick question.
Yes, Adi. Go ahead.
So the EM3 Pro trend versus the EM2, right? Because I would assume that you're probably getting involved in the EM2 right around here, right? Because you got the 15 minutes chalk.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming you're gonna go ahead and make that loss, and then you're gonna come back here. This is your EM3 now, right?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
Yeah, potentially. You got to follow the EM2 first, and then if it fails, and okay, as long as we're above this low here, this now becomes EM3.
Right. It's just that EM3 will become a high probability if this was a 4-hour zone. Yeah.
I mean, you could say so, but I don't have the stats to show like is it any better with the EM2 being from a 4-hour zone, as long as you're pro trend, because that's the only time when EM2 is even possible if you're pro trend, and due to the fact that
I think I meant EM3 will become high probability if the boof was out of the 4-hour.
When you're counter trend, it is, yeah, but when you're pro trend, then it's the same.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's just pro trend. You got to be with the 4 hours. So yeah, you could just take it wherever. It doesn't have to be in this zone. It doesn't even have to be in the discount. It can literally happen like here.
Right.
And that's even possible. I've seen that before. So
sounds good, man. Thanks.
Yeah, no respect. Any more questions?
Hey Cash, I just got a quick question.
Sure.
So I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but in terms of like you don't trade red news, right?
No, I don't.
So what's like your buffer between like New York Stock Exchange Open and like red news that you don't trade?
Buffer as in timing.
Yeah.
Just like 10 minutes before the events and stuff, 10-15 minutes, because if you can get to at least break even before like the stuff, like then it's not as bad. But it just depends actually as well. Like it's like willing to take the risk if you get slipped. That's the thing, if you can actually risk it, then you can take it like before 10-15 minutes before the news, so like before the New York Stock Exchange open. But if you can't risk it, let's say it's your only ever account, and you just you're gonna get completely smashed, lose the account. Like if you were to get slipped after you went break even, I mean, then it's like literally your choice on that. You know what I mean? But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I might be able to risk it, but other people won't be able to risk it, and it's kind of like depends on the situation. You know what I mean? Like how many counts you have, how much are you comfortable losing. If you were to get slipped, it's just a possibility, that you have to take into account. That's all. So everything is a risk. But yeah.
One more thing I was gonna ask is for like in terms of when you're like taking your last entries, do you order flow like rules completely right? So like even if you had like equal highs set up on like a 1-minute setup, but like the 15-minute chalked, would you still take the entry?
What do you mean, as in?
So like say you had like a 1-minute chalk and you were looking to enter off the 1-minute extreme POI, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as it came down, it mitigated and created like equal lows. Would you still look to take the entry then or no?
Like this?
Yeah, but then at then the 15-minute order flow chalked, would you still look to take the entry or?
But this is a 1M, right?
Yeah.
So where's the 15-minute, like this?
No, the 15 seconds, sorry, 15 seconds. So I'm saying
Oh,
when it comes to the 1-minute POI and then you get a 15-second
Uh-huh.
confirmation, would you still take the entry even though there'll be equal lows?
I don't give a fuck about equal lows and highs and shit. So it has never stopped me. And it's so funny because I've seen them work so much that like it's just so funny that I remember people saying to me like, oh, like I'm so scared to take this trade because of the equal lows down here. I'm like, bro, shut up. And it ends up working out.
Yeah, so it's order flow rules.
Yeah, it's just order flow rules, man. Like all them equal lows and equal high stuff, like I do think it's all BS, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because like the same people that say like oh the market like goes for you for the retail traders like stop losses and stuff is the same people that then say like the market don't care about we're just small fish to them and stuff. I don't know why they care about us. So how can you kind of like mix the two logics together? Like if they don't care about us because we're not even like big, we're not even big like retail, like we're retail traders, so we're not even anything big in terms of institutional traders or hedge funds or banks or anything. So like plus when we execute on any account besides from like a live person or something, we're trading all demo accounts. So then for us to trade demo accounts, it actually means like your order is not even getting input into the actual like markets, isn't it? You know what I mean? Your buys, right? Your lot sizes, it's not even going into the market because it's a demo.
Yeah.
It's like fake. It's simulated. You feel me?
Yeah. Nah.
So it's like
That makes sense.
they don't care about us. We're nothing. We're literally nothing. Less than nothing. So all we do in here is like using these prop firms, using the money that we have, whatever personal, to just like follow these patterns and capitalize on it and like make money from them and chip and just
Yeah.
run.
Thanks so much for answering those questions.
Yeah, no problem. It's all right. Let's see, cash. Chris, does liquidity even matter? Not really. In terms of like entries and analysis and everything, it just doesn't matter. Like it's real, but it's not. It just doesn't need to be added in. Cash, so EM3 reversal, it has to come from a 4 RPOI, but for continuation, it's not necessary. That's right. Is there current EM1 coming up? Maybe, but I'm gonna end it here to upload this as like an entry video on the website so that it kind of like puts it all together, like summarizes all the models together. That'd be very good. News in 10 minutes. All right. Nathan, what's up?
So I've got a question just before you
Oh,
go.
sure, man, sure.
So I'm currently in the 7-hour POI right now, but it's
Mhm.
chocked 5-minute bullish, but then chocked again. So after that, would then that go to the 15 EM2 entry model if it's pro trend, obviously?
Yeah, so like let's say this is your 4 hour POI or 7 hour, and this is your 15-minute, right? And 5 minutes on this, no entry because it's done another 5-minute chop. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta make sure like you do this to this on the 15 and just make sure it hasn't come into this. If it comes into the 50%, then I'm not looking for buys now until it like goes and breaks the 15M because of the expectation order flow on the 15M, right?
Okay.
So if it goes and breaks it and it comes back into the 4 hour and gives me another 5-minute chart, then I can take it like this.
Right. Okay. I've got you. Yeah. So it has done that. Just
Yeah.
trying to get it in your
Yeah,
head.
you gotta be careful with it because it's just like it's all about like high time frame may overpower low time frames. Like so if this is your 15M, it may overpower this 5-minute little 5 in ranges and then continue 15M to lower. So it's kind of like if you look at 4 hour time frame for the past like month, it's just been bullish. Like so 4 hour has overpowered any lower time frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just continuous its flow up.
So you'd only
So-
consider the EM1 if it came back down into that discount and then chopped bullish again.
not discount,
Sorry, back into
but,
the higher time
but back
frame.
into the POI after the low gets broken.
Yeah. Okay. Right, I've got you. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Just always has an edge on the market. Yeah. All right then. Hopefully that has helped a lot in terms of clearing out like refinements and stuff, and the models and stuff. Like it is very simple when you understand and put it all together. Obviously there's all these small details and stuff, that you just gotta put in your brain. For me, it's obviously very easy because I've been doing this for a while. Like I study it more than anyone, so it's like obviously I'll understand it faster than anyone. So, but if you want to be the same, then you got to put in the work and the practice and the time and everything, dedication, discipline to put in solid hours and days and weeks and months on your craft to be the best. You know, like, and in this game, you literally do have to be the best. Because how can you be just normal when 95% of traders fail? How can you be another one of these statistics, one of these people? Like, you obviously got to be the top 5% or even 3% who actually make some money consistently. So you can't be normal. Obviously, you got to be completely different. It's just that's how it is. It's what's AJ saying?
Hello,
Yes, AJ,
can you hear me?
I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, so like if we get a 15-minute chalk and within that 15-minute chalk we have 2 5-minute ranges, then what we should do, like we should take a 1 minute chalk and 15-second entry from 15-minute POI, or we have to wait for 5 minute again to get in the
Which entry mode are you talking about?
EM2 and EM2 and EM1 combined. After 15-minute chalk, after 15-minute chalk.
Oh, you mean like 15-minute just bullish chalk, yeah?
From 4 hours, you have 15-minute chalk will happen, and inside that bullish impulse, we get 5 minute two ranges of 5 minutes.
So this is your 15-minute chalk, yeah, and this is your 15-minute POI, yeah.
Yeah, and within that we have this type of, let's say, 5-minute range. Then should we take like 1 minute chalk entry from 15-minute POI?
Oh yeah. Because when you have this 5 minute like this, it's gonna come bearish on the 5 minute, isn't it? So you can't trade on this 5 minute anymore. You have to trade just 15-minute POI, like 1 minute chalk and 15-second chalk.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. No worries. Just
Yo. So man, just a question. Of course, now in this news in 10 minutes, so I'm not even gonna try anyway. But what would you do now on the current price section? Because we had that shit week, yeah. So we pretty much invalidated the new range, right? On 5 minutes.
Let me just. On 5 minutes.
Yeah. So now pretty much we made the first chalk and then we broke the high again, but then we broke the low, yeah, with that shit second last candle.
No, this is
exactly, yeah.
So here too.
Exactly, yeah. So I marked the same. So what would you do in this case? Because with this new range, we tapped into EQ and then we tapped into 70% again, and now we're going down, right?
Yeah. So what do you have to wait for?
So
afterwards.
Okay, so we have to wait for our 1 minute chalk in this case, of course. Yeah, just asking what would you do, because if you counted that shit week or not, but yeah, I guess we do. So
yeah,
all good.
That's fine.
Sweet.
So
easy.
Yeah, let's see what happens with it. But it's probably news 50-minute EQ. So when it's the first ever 5-minute chalk, I don't care about no 15-minute EQ, nothing. It's just when it continues to do another 5-minute and then it goes into the EQ of like a 15-minute range, for example, then yeah, I'm gonna care about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not the first one. This is still that first ever one. Look at it melting, which is but yeah.
So now there's news in 8 minutes anyway, so I wasn't gonna try anyway.
Yeah, it's just risky.
Personally.
It's just like it might not give you, obviously the entry, the 1 minute chop would be here anyways. I mean, for it to do that and then do that, I mean that probably takes like 8 minutes, so probably anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
So
at least a few minutes. Yeah. All good, bro.
No, good, man. So I'll end it
Easy.
here.
Thank you.
No worries. I'll end it here. I'll upload this onto the website. So anyone who is not here, and if you are here, just make sure you rewatch it. And if you didn't write down any notes, make sure you do, because this is how I learned. So much so fast. It's like writing down every single thing, every single detail, and keep writing on my notebooks. so that ingrains it into your brain more. Um, it's literally scientifically proven to like increase your like um that like the knowledge ingrained into your brain 70% more than it is if you don't write down nothing. Like, so you should be doing the hard work if you do really want to be the best, and just for everything just to click. Like, you gotta put in work. Like, it's not gonna click overnight from you just sleeping and dreaming. You know what I mean? Like, fuck sleep. Fuck sleep, your food. I mean, partying, anything, anything that's gonna like slow down your progress. If you say to me you don't have time, trust me, you gotta make time. Yeah, like if the only time you have is like at night, then you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean?